One night I was having trouble sleeping, so while I was tossing and turning in bed, I decided to listen to some sounds on YouTube that would help me fall asleep. I turned on a video with rushing water and birds chirping. I eventually started getting tired after an hour and then started dozing off. I fell asleep and began dreaming that I was 16 years old again, and I was with my mom and my brother, but my brother looked like he was only 6 or 7 years old. We were on this yellow bus. However, it wasn't for school. It was a tour bus that was supposed to take us on a tour of a town that we'd never seen before. The bus took us on a road through a wooded area, which reminds me of California, where the redwoods were. There were tall trees, and it was heavily wooded on both sides of the road. There were railings along the side of the road to prevent cars from falling on the edge of this huge high cliff. Down the cliff was a huge river that had rushing water. Then suddenly the bus came to an area off the road and pulled over to stop, and people started exiting the bus to explore the area. Little did we know while we were on the bus, there was this creature following us from a distance. My mom, my brother, and me were the last to exit the bus, and when we got out of the bus, everyone had disappeared. There was nobody around. I heard branches crackling and looked up into the hillside and saw something looking at us. It was dark with hair all over its face. It was growling at us. I told my mom and my brother with fear to quickly get into the bus and hide, that there was something up in the hills coming down to attack us. We ran into the bus and I shut the door. Then I locked it. I took my brother into my arms and we hid in one of the seats while my mom hid in another. The creature rushed down the hill and came to the bus, sniffing around. I tried to open the bus door, but I had locked it so I couldn't get in. It started shaking and rattling the bus and then banging around the bus. Then it picked the bus up and pushed us off the cliff. Knowing the river was down below, I told my mom to hang on to the seats so that when we make an impact into the water, she wouldn't be hurt. If we survive, I told her, open the window on top and pull yourself out of the bus, then swim to the shore. I told my brother to hold on to me tightly as I held onto the seat. We were waiting for the impact, and the bus fell off to the side and hit the marsh area, so the bus did not submerge in the river. The creature, still looking at us from above, saw the bus didn't fall into the water. It kept watching to see if we'd get out of the bus. I told my brother to hang on to the seat as I left the window open and pulled myself out of the bus. Then I pulled my brother up and out of the window as my mom climbed out of another window. I hugged my mom and my brother and was glad that we were all alive. Then I looked up only to see the creature, now in the clear, staring at us from the cliff. It was huge, full of hair like a gorilla, but with a humanly figure. I could see it clenching his teeth, knowing we had survived. I told my mom to hurry, get off the bus and walk to the banks, that we had to get out of there before the thing came down to attack us. We somehow made our way to the banks, me piggybacking my brother while my mom walked along the side. The creature jumped off the cliff into the water, trying to get to us. We somehow get to the road and started running. My mom held my brother's hand, and I watched behind them as we get into town. The creature was nowhere to be seen, but I had a strong feeling it was coming for us. We get into this town that was isolated. No one was to be seen. It was like people were scared away and left everything as is. I seen a distance the creature and tell my mom to hurry into a house. I told her to hide, and I hid my brother in a cupboard on a kitchen island. My mom hid in a closet, and I jumped into the pantry, which was too small for me to hide in. But there were 2 entry doors that blocked the pantry door. And so when the creature rushed into the house, it went straight into the living room, and the door had covered me, and so it did not see me. However, I was scared it would find my mom, and so I kicked the front door shut, and the creature thought we had run out of the house. It quickly ran to the front door and ran out searching for us. I told my mom and my brother to hush up with a shh, and I waited a few minutes, and when it didn't return, I told my mom to get out while I grabbed my brother from the island. We ran outside, and there was an abandoned car parked on the road. I told my brother and my mom to quickly get into the car as I get into the driver's side, and there were the keys still in the ignition. So I started the car up fast, and we drove off as fast as we could. The monster heard the car, and he ran to the road, and he was watching us as we drove off into the dark.